Alright guys, so today's notes are on the quadratic formula. What exactly is the quadratic formula? Well, it's this formula that helps us find x's when given a quadratic equation. So the formula goes like this. X is equal to, and then I like to say the opposite of b, or negative b, and then plus or minus the square root of, then we have b squared minus 4 times a times c, and then that whole thing gets divided by 2a. So a lot of what today is just a lot of algebra work to try to figure out what is our x value, knowing that we can plug in a b, plug in an a, and plug in a c. So let's take a look at these two examples below. First, we have to determine what the a, b, and c value are of this quadratic formula. So we take a look here. We can see that it's set equal to 0. This is super important. All equations have to be set equal to 0. So now we can determine our a value, our b value, and our c value. It always goes a is with whatever variable is squared, b is always with the next variable, and then c is always by itself. So the number that is in front of m squared is just 1, so our a value is 1. On our m, we have negative 5, and then on our c, we have negative 14. So then we just need to plug these into the equation. So we have x is equal to the opposite of b, which is negative 5, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so negative 5 squared, minus 4 times a times c. And then all of that gets divided by 2 times a. From here is when we just do a lot of algebra. So when we look at negative 5, that's going to give us positive 5, and then we say plus or minus the square root of negative 5 squared, so this value right here becomes 25, negative 4 times 1 times negative 14, so that's going to become positive 56, okay? Let me just check that real quick. Negative 4 times 1 times negative 14, positive 56. And then all of that is divided by just 2. And we know that's just 2 because 2 times 1 gives us 2. Now we have to continue with the algebra. So this gives us x is equal to 5 plus or minus. And then we have 25 plus 56. So 20 plus 50 is 70. 5 plus 6 is 11. So 70 plus 11 gives us 81. And then we divide it by 2. So then we're going to take the square root of 81. Well, that gives us x is equal to 5 plus or minus 9 divided by 2. And then from here, when we go 5 plus or minus 9 divided by 2, we need to split that up into x equals 5 plus 9 divided by 2 and x equals 5 minus 9 divided by 2. So that way when we do this, we get x is equal to 14 over 2, which is 7, which becomes one of our answers. And then we get x is equal to negative 4 over 2, which is negative 2, which is another one of our answers. So these, 7 and negative 2, would be our two answers using the quadratic formula. All right, let's take a look at the next one. So the next one, we have a, b, c, but then we have not equal to 0. Because it's not equal to 0, we have to add the 10 to the other side first. Gives us 2m squared minus 7m minus 3 is equal to 0. Now that it's equal to 0, we can say our a value is positive 2, our b value is negative 7, and then our c value is negative 3. Really, from there, it's just plugging it into the equation. So x is equal to the opposite of our b value, so negative 7, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is negative 7 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is negative 3, all divided by 2 times a, which is 2. So then let's do some algebra here. Negative negative 7 gives us positive 7, plus or minus square root, or the negative 7 squared becomes 49. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 3 is positive 24. All of that gets divided by 4. So then we get x is equal to 7 plus or minus the square root of 49 plus 24, that gives us 60. So 4 plus 2 is 6. 9 plus 4 is 13. So that's 73 over 4. And then when it comes like this, guys, and we can't reduce the square root to a number, so notice in the last question, radical 81 becomes 9, right? There is no radical 73 that gives us a whole number, so then what we can do here is we can actually just circle or box this answer, and that is our answer for the question. Okay. If you're looking at this, guys, I actually wrote these wrong. Our variable is m, so we should put m for all of these, but I'm not really going to take off points on what variable you put down, okay? So just take note of that. Do what you want with it. If you guys have any questions, please ask me, okay? Come to office hours and ask. Rewatch this video a couple times. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.